After going 1-2-0 on their 3-game mini road trip, questions were raised about how the Hurricanes were going to do over the weekend with a back-to-back against the Senators and the Blues. Well, safe to say when you outscore your opponents 8-1, you're feeling pretty good, especially when you get that weekend sweep.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to a Monday edition of Locked On Hurricanes, your team every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you to the Everydayer for making this your first listen of the day. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, talking everything about your Carolina Hurricanes. I'm your host, Zach Martin. I'm the credentialed Carolina Hurricanes beat writer over at the Hockey Writers. I also do a weekly column on the Chicago Wolves called Wolves Weekly. I'm the co-host of the Surgecasters, a weekly Carolina Hurricanes podcast, along with all of my duties here at Locked On Hurricanes. Got a fun Monday show for you guys as we'll be recapping the weekend sweep for your Carolina Hurricanes as they defeated the Ottawa Senators and the St. Louis Blues. Going to talk a good bit about Martin Necas and just on the absolute, what could you even say more of a supernova that's beyond a supernova hot start to this season for him. And then we're going to get post-game thoughts from Sunday's game with Martin Necas and talk about just, thoughts on all of that overall from that. But before we jump into today's episode is brought to you by Indeed. Still searching for a great candidate for your company? Well, don't search. Just match with Indeed. Now, going back to Saturday's game against the Ottawa Senators, of course, is the first game for the team. If you're listening to my Friday's episode with Chris Sinclair of the Rinkside Rundown, talk about just like the tale of two teams of how stats are pretty much similar, but the records are completely different. And you can clearly see on Saturday just the difference between the two teams are where, Seth Jarvis earlier that day was placed on IR retroactive to November 10th. So, he wasn't going to be available for the weekend. Pierre Kachakov wasn't going to be in the roster Saturday night. So they called up they recalled Yanov Perez from Chicago. So you had Spencer Martin in the net, see how he was going to do, with Perez being his backup and Seth Jarvis is still out. How are the Hurricanes going to, respond at home after going 1-2-0 on the road trip in Colorado, Vegas, and Utah? Well, safe to say when you get a 4-0 shutout win, I think you feel pretty good about yourselves, and congratulations to Spencer Martin on his first ever NHL shutout, and that's his 60th start too. So big props to the guy from Oakville, Ontario, the former Mississauga Steelhead of the OHL. Comes in, pretty much shuts the door, stops all 24 shots faced, 10 bell saves after 10 bell saves, absolutely robbing Tim Stützle a couple times, absolutely robbing Brady Tkachuk as well. I mean, we're talking 911 highway robbery type deals. And the crazy part was, like, the Ottawa Senators did score, but it was called back after Tim Stützle, got called for interference after, knocking the stick out of Andrei Svechnikov's hand before he scored. So they called that one back. And it was definitely a game where fishing was kind of a concern for both sides. But, I mean, it is what it is overall. The Hurricanes outshot the Senators 28-24. Senators had 11-9 in the third period, but Jordan Martin got his 6th of the season. Hurricanes went 4 for 4 on the penalty kill, 2 for 5 on the power play. And of course, their 2 power play goals came in the second period from Sebastian Aho and Jackson Blake. The one was in the second period for Aho. Jackson Blake's was 43 seconds into the third period. And of course, William Carrier for his second of the season gets an empty netter. But for Sebastian Aho's goal, Martin Necas will give himself a 12-game point streak with that one. Of course, we're going to talk about Sunday's game as well, where he might have extended that as well. But at the time, guy's 12th straight game where he extended that streak. And you heard me say on Friday's show, I want to see more out of Sebastian Aho. Still not a 5-on-5 goal, but hey, you like to see it. You want to see him score goals, and It's there. You know he can score goals. He can do what he just does best. But, hey, they don't ask how. They just ask how many. And, Sebastian, who did score, got his 4th of the season. Martin Necas at that time got his 17th assist. And like I said, the big props, you got to give it to Spencer Martin. First star of the game, stopped all 24 shots. Shane Gostisbehere got 2 assists. And then Jordan Martin, 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. And, that's what you call a total team win. Yes, it kind of, some questions should be concerned of the officiating on both sides, but hey, they just look at it and say, what are you going to do and how are you going to score and adapt, and that's what you do. Jordan Stahl, multi-point night, 2 assists. Jordan Martin, a goal and assist. Like I said, Shane Gostisbehere, 2 points. And your Carolina Hurricanes come back and play a pretty dominant game overall. You'll take that win. You'll be very excited about how that one runs out. And there you go for your Carolina Hurricanes. Now, coming into Sunday's game, you get the news that Pierre Kochetkov is officially back. They reassigned Yanov Preds back to Chicago, so Pierre Kochetkov just needed an extra day off. They gave it to him. He gets the nod for the start, so when they're playing Spencer Martin in back-to-back games. The St. Louis Blues, got to give them a lot of credit, outshot the Hurricanes 30-24, 11-7 in the first period, 11-5 in the second. Carolina came back 12-8 in the third, but overall with St. Louis 30-24. The PK unit did great, 1 for 1. That's pretty good when you only give up 1 penalty in the entire game. And then the power play unit once again scores. You go 1 for 3 in the game. Of course, Jake Neighbors gets it 6 minutes into the period for the Blues to start the game off. And then with less than 30 seconds left, how about Andrei Svechnikov with a power play goal? Ties it up very late, basically almost a backbreaker to the Blues, where they think, okay, you go into the first period, you're up 1-0, you're feeling pretty good about yourself, you're out shooting the Hurricanes, and then you get Andrei Svechnikov kind of dashing that away, and now you're going to the intermission, tied 1-1, and that was in the primary assist. Yeah, how about Martin Necas once again to extend his streak to 13 straight games with a point? You want to talk about just a super hot start for this guy? Well, you're seeing that right now in Martin Necas, and that was not it for him, at least. Second period, 17 seconds in. How about right place, right time for Eric Robinson? Dmitry Orlov hits a bomb from the point, goes off of Joel Hofer. Robinson just being Johnny on the spot, in the right spot where he needs to be. Gets his 5th of the season, 17 seconds of the game. Orlov with his 6th assist, and Martin Necas gets his 19th assist, 2nd on the night, and it's Carolina 2-1. 12 minutes later, how about Martin Necas like, you know what? I've got a couple assists. How about I put myself on the score sheet as well with the goal? And he does. He gets his 10th on the season, and Eric Robinson with the, hey, you got the assist on my goal? Here, let me help you out with assist of my own. And there you go. That's Eric Robinson's 6th of the season. And then in the third period, 16:47 in, Martin Necas with the dagger ices the game for his 11th of the season, 2nd of the night. Eric Robinson gets his 2nd assist, and Jesperi Kotkaniemi gets an assist as well. 4-1 Carolina. So they were down 1-0 pretty much 6 minutes into the first period. Ties it late and then scores another 3 right after that. So the Hurricanes scored 4 unanswered goals to go from down 1-0 to win 4-1. And the stat that really kind of jumps out at you, how about the fact that they won 63.5% of the faceoffs compared to 36.5%? And of course, special teams does the job once again. Over the weekend, they won a perfect 5 for 5 on the PK. Hey, you'll take that. And they went 3 for 8 on the power play. You will gladly take that if you're the Carolina Hurricanes. And that actually does end the season series between both teams. Of course, the first game was on October 19th, where the Hurricanes lost to the Blues 4-3 for their only loss of that Western road trip during the North Carolina State Fair trip. And then the Carolina wins 4-1 on Sunday night. So they do split the series 1-1 overall. Great to see Pierre Kochetkov comes back. He plays phenomenal hockey, stops 29 of 30 shots after only missing 1 game. And then you look at just how the team played overall. How about points-wise? Martin Necas, 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists. Eric Robinson, 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. Svechnikov and Kotkaniemi both got points as well. In terms of the defense, Shane Gostisbehere with a goal, or he got an assist, and Dmitry Orlov with an assist, but Orlov and Chatfield both finished with a +3. And then Pierre Kochetkov, a .967 save percentage, like I said, stopping 29 of 30, so you will gladly see that. Now, talking Martin Necas, there is a lot to talk about of just a great start that he has to his season. So stick around, guys, as we will talk about more about number 88 here in a second on a Monday edition of Locked On Hurricanes. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Sign up today and get $50 to instantly play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Do you think Justin Jefferson will get more than 83.5 yards next week? Will Christian McCaffrey run more than 75.5 yards? Well, you can cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on PrizePicks. Now, for me, it's like, do I think that Chuba Hubbard's going to run for 95.5 yards, or do I think that, let's say, Josh Allen might throw for more than 275 yards, 275.5 yards per game? Well, you can do that with PrizePicks. So download the app today and use code LOCKDOWNAHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Once again, download the app today and use code LOCKDOWNAHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, with PrizePicks, you can run your game. Welcome back to segment 2 of Locked on Hurricanes, your team every day. And like I said at the end of segment 1, guys, we are going to be talking about Martin Necas. And oh my absolute goodness, talk about a start to the season for this guy. I don't know if anyone thought that we would be talking about Martin Necas the way he's playing right now, but he is on a what would be even better than a supernova hot start to the season, where he already has 30 points in 17 games. That's faster than what Eric Stahl did, and he did that in 18 games back in 2005. Yes, he actually, Martin Necas is on a faster start to his season than Eric Stahl. And we're talking about an Eric Stahl who's going to get his number retired by the team this season. That's absolutely insane to think about. And, big shout out to Kane Statsbrand. Talk about the fact that he's, his point streak is up to 13. The last time a Czech-born player had a point streak longer than 13 games was back in 2003 when Robert Lang did it for the pre-Ovechkin Washington Capitals. Yes, it's been that long that we're talking 2003 before Alexander Ovechkin was even in the NHL that a Czech player had more than a 13-game point streak. And like, how I said that, Martin Necas is on an absolute world tear right now. Yeah, that just shows you how good he's been playing for the fact, like I said, he's the fastest player to hit 30. And Eric Stahl did it in the 05-06 season where he had 100 points and won a Stanley Cup that season. Now, from Big Head Hockey, and you're talking about how Eric Stahl had a 100-point season. He got his 30 points in 18 games. But for the fact that Martin Necas already has hit 30 in 17, yeah, he as of right now is on a 145-point pace. His career best is 71, and that was 2 seasons ago in the 22-23 season where he led the team with 71. That is mind-boggling for the fact that even during the 13-point streak that he's got 8 goals and 16 assists, and even more than that, just how good he's been playing. Like, he has put himself in one of the most insane runs right now for the Hurricanes. On pace for 145. He is third in the league with points. Third. The only guys better him is McKinnon and McCarr. He's third right now in the NHL. And that's after on a Sunday where he had 2 goals, 4 assists. He was a +3. He was on the ice for 24 Hurricane shot attempts, only 6 blue shot attempts as well. That's, for me, it's like, I don't know what kind of a better start you can ask out of this guy for the fact that it's I don't think, like I said, I didn't think he was going to have a hot start like this. I don't think anyone did. And if you say that he was going to, then give me the lotto numbers, because I don't know any person right now on the faces. Like, we all thought he might have a good season overall, but I would never expect him to already have 30 points in 17 games. Like, he's almost back up to a 2 point per game pace already. He's on pace for 145. His best is 71 ever. And last year he finished with 53. He had a drop off last year, comes into the season, gets a contract extension, plays like first power play unit minutes. He's on the second line with Jesperi Kotkaniemi and Eric Robinson, and those guys tonight absolutely went off as an entire line, where Robinson had a multi-point night with a goal and 2 assists, and Kotkaniemi had an assist. And you look at Martin Necas, who's had 4 points by himself, and 2 of those were goals. Talk about a night for that second line, because that Rod Brind'Amour doesn't even number his lines, but we know that second line right now is the best line for the Hurricanes. And Brind'Amour has even said that is his home run line, and that's why you see them starting a lot of games now, just because of how good they're playing together. Just the speed of what Robinson has lines up perfectly with what Martin Necas has been doing. So you got 2 speedsters on the side. You got KK's playing some great defense, great transitional play as well. And for the fact that you're giving Martin Necas a lot of extra time on the power play units, especially PP1, where his ice time is definitely up from last year, but just the way he's playing hockey right now, like, his defense has been really solid. Even on the zone entries, they've been really good. Like, he's not doing spinoramas and then just dumping the puck back to no one. Like, he's holding the puck on his stick. He's controlling it a lot more. You see him, crashing the net, going around using his speed, keeping the puck away, because we all know that he can basically stick, he can stick handle in a London phone booth. That's how tight his stick handling is and how good his edges are. And just the fact that his speed is another dynamic too. It's wild that we're watching an otherworldly season from this guy. And we were just hoping that he would bounce back from 53 to get 65 or 70 points. And right now he's already got 30 and 17. Even if he drastically slows down, like, you're talking, he only needs like another, if he keeps on this pace, he's going to have 60 points by the time we hit 24 games into the season. Like, that is just unheard of for him to be already past last year's total, not even by like New Year's. So, or even probably close to New Year's. So, is this pace sustainable? I'm not really sure, but right now he's on a 13-game point streak. It seems like everything he's touching is going in. All the assists are going in too, and you're third in the league in points. Like, you already got guys like Tom Granati and Jeff Merrick talking about you, and the fact that now there's possibilities of like talking about heart considerations already, which for Tuesday's show, guys, is a precursor. We're gonna be talking about why we might be at that point where we might have to talk about Hart Trophy talk for Martin Necas. So make sure to stick around for Tuesday's show, as we'll do a little more diving into that. But he is putting himself on the map to where you're getting like Sportsnet, TSN, NHL Network, NHL, like everyone of the who's who is talking about you right now. And you don't really see a whole lot of eyes in Carolina, I guess, unless it's like a huge big thing that's had going on, or if there's something else. But for the fact that Martin Necas is on an absolute tear right now, especially going blonde after losing a bet in golf against Brendan Lemieux, and the line that he's with Robinson and Kotkaniemi is unlocked something in that guy, and it's just, you are loving of how good of a hockey he's playing right now. And this is even what Pierre Kachekov said about Martin Necas. I don't want to talk about him because I want him to stay hot. What he's doing now, oh my goodness, I'm paraphrasing. It's unbelievable. Like, yeah, like you don't even want to talk about how good this guy is right now because you don't want to throw him out of his groove. You've heard me say it before. You're going to hear me say it again. Don't mess. You can see don't mess with the winning streak, which the Hurricanes are on right now after winning the weekend. But don't mess with a guy who's on an absolute heater, and that's what Martin Necas is right now. I don't know any player who's as hot right now as Martin Necas. Yes, you could say Makar possibly. You could probably say McKinnon. But you're talking about guys who are on teams that are doing okay, where you have Martin Necas who's on a Carolina Hurricanes team who's 13-4-0, 26 points in 17 games. They've lost 4 games all season. Like they haven't even gone to over. Like they haven't even lost an overtime yet, and they have 2 overtime wins. This team has not lost in overtime. They have 4 regulation losses, and they only have 26 points. And that's because you're talking about a catalyst in Martin Necas who's carrying this team right now. And like I said, I don't know any guy right now that could be even close to what he's doing right now, especially on the Hurricanes. Like, I don't think anyone saw Martin Necas being the best player for the Hurricanes, but in a year where you're looking at a possible transition, maybe the team might take a slight step back. So I guess someone didn't tell Martin Necas that because he's like, all right, I'll put the team on my back and see what we can do. So absolutely insane. And you know what, guys? Stick around for segment 3 as we got some post-game, audio from Martin Necas meeting with the media. So stick around so we can hear from the man himself here in a second on a Monday edition of Locked On Hurricanes. We're driven by the search for better. When it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and the matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. What I like about Indeed is the fact that you can upload your resume, you can also upload your certificates, you even get certain licenses. You can put that on one place and help you find the job that's looking best for you. And if you're an employer, well, as long as you keep working with Indeed and putting the preferences that you want, they can help you find quality candidates as well. Because with Indeed, they are leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day. So Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences and all other preferences as well. So the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard it about Indeed on this podcast. Once again, that is Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? Well, you need Indeed. Welcome back to segment 3 of Locked On Hurricanes, your team every day. So like I said, ended segment 2, we're going to jump into the post-game press conference with Martin Necas again, and his thoughts overall over the weekend, the game itself, and the start he's had to his year. So without further ado, let's listen to Martin Necas as he meets with media right now.
How has Eric specifically helped fill out that one?
He's just so fast, and he creates space for me to play with the puck, and he can score. He can do it all. So his dangles today on my first goal. I mean, he's been really good piece for us, not just on the ice but in the locker room. Great guy, and love to have him.
Confidence is one thing, but people talk about being in the zone. There's another level beyond confidence where you play with a supreme feeling of being able to get it done. Are you feeling anything different now like that?
Yeah, obviously when things going your way, you're kind of in that zone that when I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling, and I'm trying to get there and stay there as long as I can, and just like we talk about consistency, try to bring it each night, and it's not about just one guy. Obviously, we're getting a lot of points, and mainly we are playing guys 5-on-5, which is huge.
How much do you love doing zone entries on the power play?
Yeah, I mean it's fun. It's something that I kind of practice my whole life, and I'm enjoying it, and obviously it's important to get the puck in the zone, and kind of, that's how it starts.
Now, Marty, are you superstitious about the hair or not? Let's get that settled.
No, I mean, I dyed it once, and it's just there ever since. So I don't know. It's not about my hair. It's about my line mates, about me, and I'm not really superstitious about it.
You're gonna keep it though, right?
We'll see, guys. I mean, I don't think so, but yeah, we'll see.
The mustache, is that part of it?
I mean, it's November, right? You gotta support the kids. So, yeah. You can see it there now, maybe. It's coming. It's coming there.
Big thank you to Martin Necas and the Carolina Hurricanes, and just listen to the fact that like they're talking about the zone and like if he's feeling anything different, and you can see that the fact that Martin Necas knows that he's feeling something different, the fact that he wants to stay there and keep that confidence going, and that being in the zone is a good spot to be in. And right now, that's what you're seeing, because it's almost like the game is slowing down for you in that point if you are in that type of zone, because you hear from all types of athletes, no matter what sport you're playing. Once you're kind of like in the zone, you're kind of locked in. It feels like the game kind of slows itself down, and you can kind of see more as the game's going on. So even if you're flying at really high speeds, on the ice, you can still find a way to feel like that you're not really panicking. It's not coming at you super quick. You're able to find some extra split time that maybe other people don't see, or maybe you're seeing angles that people aren't checking out as well. And you're finding it to how it works out for yourself. Talking about Eric Robinson, it seems like that just the way they've plugged him in super early into the season, especially during the Edmonton game, ever since then, it's like Robinson, Kotkaniemi, and Necas have just been an absolute menace against the NHL right now, and just how many games they've played together. So it's something to where it's like Tulsky has found a way to bring in the right pieces with Robinson and Roslovic and Carrier and, of course, Ghost and Walker. But just being able to put Robinson on that line with KK and Necas has kind of figured something out for them. And you hear Necas talk about it for the fact that when you look at Robinson, he's someone who's, with his speed, he's even opening up more spots for Necas as well. So now you have two speedsters where you kind of have to figure out, okay, who are you going to stop? And luckily it's kind of opened up more space for Martin Necas. And of course, the big thing is to talk about him being superstitious. Is he going to keep the hair blonde and stuff like that? And he's like, he is not sure if he's going to. He's not really superstitious. And he said, it's not really about my hair. It's about me and my teammates. But, a few jokes here and there about it's the mustache part of it as well. So it's good to see the mood and the chemistry is working really well for the Hurricanes, especially for Necas, and that how comfortable he is, talking to media and making jokes while knowing that he's playing the best hockey of his career right now. And even if it is the hair as a superstition, or even just because of the fact that he's figured out what he needs to get done, even with talking to Rod Brind'Amour, it's working. And just the fact that being able to do the zone entries like he wants in the power play, and it's giving him another level to his game that we were hoping to see. We missed it last year, and now you're seeing it this year. That I don't know if it's Rod Brind'Amour's taking more of the reins off of Martin Necas and even the star guys. Like, hey, we want you to play our game, but we're going to give you a little bit more flexibility to show your style as well. So maybe that's the thing where you're seeing the reins being kind of lifted off of the guys to showcase their skills a little bit more, but be able to fix it in a structure that works for the Hurricanes. So maybe that could be it as well. But whatever is going on for the Hurricanes, you hope this keeps going on. And you really hope this keeps up for Martin Necas, because this is just a great start to the season for him. And you hope this keeps going. Hopefully we see 14, 15, 16 game point streaks, seeing his number from 30 keep growing as the season goes on. And, maybe we are talking heart votes for Martin Necas by the season's end. But right now, definitely just enjoying it, seeing how great he's playing, see how the Hurricanes are playing great overall as well. They do have a couple days off before they have a back-to-back, on Wednesday and Thursday against the Flyers and the Devils. So they have Monday and Tuesday night off after having a back-to-back over this past weekend. So definitely going to take a little bit of a breather, enjoy how great the team is playing right now as they're 13-4-0 on the season. But overall, you love to see what's going on for Martin Necas as of right now, and just how great he's been playing overall to start the 24-25 season. But guys, that will wrap up a Monday edition of Locked On Hurricanes. Thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of the day. For your second listen, make sure to listen to Locked On Fantasy Hockey. Become a fantasy hockey expert and get the edge over your league mates with daily tips from Steal and Flip. Find Locked On Fantasy Hockey on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. Now, if you want to check out this podcast, of course, you can go to Locked On Hurricanes on all podcast platforms. Leave a 5-star rating and review. If you do, I might read it on the show. And if you want to check it out on YouTube, just go to Locked On Hurricanes. Hit subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss the show. Hit the thumbs up button. Let me know if you like the show as well. Share with other Keniacs who become everydayers just like you, because we are well over 1,000 subscribers. But let's keep this ball rolling. If you want to keep everything that I'm doing, you can check me out at OneTrueZach on X or at DZacharyMartin over on Blue Sky. I'm officially, posting stuff over there as well. I do have a link tree on both of those sites to where you can check out my articles at the Hockey Writers, or if you just go to thehockeywriters.com, you can find me at Zachary Martin or Zach Martin, and then you can find my author page and look at all the articles that are going on over there. But I hope everyone enjoyed a Monday edition of Locked On Hurricanes. Hope everyone enjoys their Monday. And until next time, as always, let's go Canes.